Okay.
And breathe. Smell the air. It's the Boxcar Buddies back into the window of your home. We are taking all your pies from your windowsills and taking them back to our tiny cubby hole that we dug up this weekend with all of these stolen shovels that I got at Home Depot. It's quite a reposition from our normal stuff in a boxcar, but this time we're in a hole. It's basically a foxhole. It's a foxhole boxcar. The boxhole foxhole bigger. It da da boo da dee dee boo da 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 boo da dee 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 da boo da boo boo.
Yeah, foxhole boxcar. That's what we're doing this week.
That's the foxhole boxcar. I didn't put a ladder in here.
That's what I
Stop
was doing.
digging!
That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do.
You're getting dirt in my face!
I can't. I'm
Stop
trying,
it!
I'm trying to make a little soup hole. I'm trying to
Stop
make a
it!
little soup hole now.
Stop digging your dirt on me, man!
Sorry, we gotta get
I
that.
got this
here.
new shirt and everything.
Yeah, you do. That's a nice pattern you have on that shirt. Did you
Thank
go,
you.
What, the Salvation Army? What'd you
No,
do?
I just went to Ragstock and I said, give me a shirt.
Ooh, you're all about that rag stock.
They got cheap stuff
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
that
do.
I can pay with my hat filled of change.
Mm-hmm. You're good at getting those, too. Nobody fills my hat with anything except, like, spit and bad intentions, I think.
Business cards, too.
Yeah, those make their way in there, definitely. But
You know what it probably is?
what?
The charisma.
The charisma.
Also the hole in your chest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and since the light, nighttime people end up getting drawn over to it now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I could imagine like deer just
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, and
as soon as they see you.
You know, and it was fun before because I had a way of kind of like dimming it or like turning it like on
You can
and
adjust
off.
the brightness.
Now I can't adjust the bright. I don't know what happened.
Oh
I
no,
kinda
that's
slept funny.
That's some kind of wiring thing that you have to
like-
solder that.
I like slept funny on it, and I like had my shoulders bunched up, and now I haven't been able to adjust the brightness of it. So it's just this beaming spotlight coming out of my chest at all times. Really fucks with my peripheral vision. I gotta
Yeah,
tell
just
you.
don't point it in my direction.
I know.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. Here, let me zip that up again there.
You're like a built-in Burger King heat lamp.
I know. I should start keeping food that I want to keep warm.
Like right
Against
next to
the
the
light.
light?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will keep it toasty and stale for hours.
That's a good idea. I gotta write that down. I'm gonna start doing that.
You should write that down. Write it down on your hand, dude.
Yeah.
Good.
There we go.
Just make sure. Make
Yeah.
sure you like really cross the T's and
Notice I have this. I was walking by an elementary school and I got this little number 2 pencil. It's been sharpened down so that it's just about an inch long here, but it's still got a fully functional eraser on the back end of it. And
was that kid just like cranking it just for the hell of it? He's like so bored.
I guess so.
I hate school.
He got it all
I
the
hate
way down.
life.
Yeah.
I have to summon the demon lord.
That's probably almost exactly how it went down. Yeah, you know how elementary school kids, they're really one with the demons. They're very close to them.
And me too.
Yeah, you are.
Something that I have a lot in common with children.
Indeed. That's why they like you so much. I
Yeah.
think. They're always like happy around you.
They're like, where's the freaky one-armed man that talks to Satan a lot?
They love your robot hand. Those kids, those kids the other day that like wandered by like where we were, like asking for food, that field trip, they loved your hand. They were so interested in it.
And they just gave me so many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I know. Those kids
Sucked for the kid that had a
givers.
peanut allergy. I was like, haha, loser, you have soy.
Yeah, and you're-
soy boy.
Right, exactly. And it's like, your parents, like, they don't care about you.
Oh,
because they
your
packed
parents
you
went
with-
the extra mile to give you an allergy lunch. Haha, loser, you can't have chocolate.
And then you still ate it anyway. You were
Oh,
like, yeah,
I ate his lunchbox too.
without a doubt. Yeah, no. That was a good day for lunch. Those kids are very giving. They have no reservations about giving.
Yeah,
lunches.
and if they aren't giving, it's very, very hard for them to hold on to their food.
Absolutely.
They have small, weak hands.
Weak little fingers and forearms. They're not holding on to that thing. No way.
And I'm not a parent, so I don't care.
But what is apparent is the fact that Greg and I are back.
Well, what a segue! It's
Yeah.
the Boxcar Buddies.
We are in a foxhole today, which is what we decided to call this. We weren't able to locate a functional boxcar that was abandoned and we could sufficiently use without drawing attention. So what we decided to do was dig. We spent the last 2 days digging like this huge basin. Actually, we're kind of near. Is this not Grant Park? Where is this? Is this Jackson Park? It's a little bit south of the heavy.
Yeah, it's
areas
about
of the
Jackson
loop.
Park.
Yeah, and it's like we're kind of close to the lake shore, but they don't have any festivals scheduled here, thankfully, and all the movies in the park are in Grant. So we just spent the
Yeah,
last
all the
2
big
days.
music festivals already done. Pitchfork
Yeah.
already happened. The next big one's in Douglasville.
Yeah, exactly. So we are, so what we did was we did that. Also, we lucked out because there's a bunch of caution tape around the trees kind of surrounding this area. Not sure what that's about, but it's sort of, we're unintentional.
Yeah, I also don't
beneficiaries of it.
understand like the big white outlines all over the place.
Yeah, no, I don't get those either. I think
Is
it was
it like- is it
sidewalk
su-
chalk?
is it
It's like
like-
sidewalk chalk?
Is it like summertime, like snow angels?
Maybe, or maybe it's like, how police play hopscotch or something, like they just flop down onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, it
into
always
that
aggravates
position.
me. Like I'm trying to walk around and here's all this yellow tape and these chalk outlines. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
you
I
cops
get it.
want to have a playground
I get
too.
it. It's summertime.
Share.
Outside games. I get it. But so anyway, there's a lot of those, and we're kind of unintentional beneficiaries of all that. And we decided to dig this basin, and then we put this nice foamy tarp over the top of it in order to help A, protect us from the rain and stuff, B, make sure nobody can just see us at a glance, and C, help with the sound quality, because as two homeless bros, Greg and I like to meet up once a week and hook up some podcasting equipment and talk about content that we've managed to absorb somewhere around Chicago during the course of our week, and that's what we're doing again today in
Yeah.
this foxhole.
I'm amazed that we haven't gotten any wind blown in here. Let me
know.
double check here.
Feel it?
Oh yeah. Ooh, it feels so nice. I gotta say, like it's pretty warm down here, man. I'm pretty toasty.
Yeah, there's no air movement, and there's a lot of bugs. We got a lot of bugs coming in on the walls there because we're just underground. It's just dirt. Greg is liking the grubs.
The worms are extra juicy
Big
today.
big fan of those. What I've been doing is you'll notice I've got these. I've got a bowl of water beetles that I've been killing, and what I'm going to do later is I'm going to make use of your robot hand there, your spices, the mix that you've got, Greg's blend, and I'm going to sort of just like season this bowl. Maybe put them against the old heat lamp in the chest here and try
Yeah,
and like
maybe
roast
get 'em a
them
little
bit.
warm.
Totally, and then we're gonna have.
I
Some
don't think you'll be
snacks
able to
on those
roast
later.
them, but you'll definitely make them sweat.
Yeah, toast. I mean, they're yeah.
They'll
it'll
be like sun dried,
Yeah,
but
totally, totally.
like
heat lamp
amplified.
dried.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
So that's what we're going to do a little bit later. But in the meantime, while we wait for that to get ready and stuff, and while we continue to hope that nobody stumbles into our little pit here, what have you been up to this week, my man? Did you get any? Did you absorb any
I
content?
did absorb a lot of things.
Really?
Well, yeah, a couple things. The first thing I really absorbed was
Sunlight. Sunlight's usually number
well,
one.
yeah, I got my vitamin D in. It's been helping with the psoriasis.
Totally.
Helps that a lot.
Yes.
But in any case, I was given an extended invitation to go hang out with a good friend of mine named Drippy.
Drippy.
Yeah, so Drippy is, for those who have no information about who Drippy is I guess you could say he's like a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, okay.
He lives in the Water Tower in the Gold Coast.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so he's
fun. Is he like a caretaker or something?
no, he's kind of like hollowed out the basement of the Water Tower. So like, you know how the Water Tower looks like this super tiny little church thing?
Yes.
He uses the air vents. He cracks that shit open and he slides down it, and it turns into like this big, like, you know, like that stereotypical like nerd computer room in like every action movie ever.
Oh yeah, like a nerd den.
The nerd den.
Yeah, the
like it's
headquarters.
just there's just like gear everywhere. There's a projector up with like Matrix green code.
Of course, yeah.
all over the
Because
place.
that's the light that nerds do best in.
yeah,
is
that's
that green
that's
light.
Drippy's home.
Okay.
Like Drippy lives down there.
Does he have gear down there?
He does. He has a lot of gear down there. A word got through the grapevine of our little network of friendos around here.
Sure.
And he found out about my hand, and he wanted to take an extensive look at it.
Really?
Yeah, he said he might be able to get me a second one.
No way.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, man.
But it would defeat the purpose of me finding and enacting revenge on Robot.
Actually, I would think that you can still maintain your desire to do that. You're just going to be you're going to have twice the weapons to work with.
That's true.
Yeah, I think you can still hang on to the blood debt and get somebody else to kind of give you a hand, so to speak.
Yeah, literally.
Indeed.
Because this guy did kind of want to give me a hand. So
great.
I let him look at my work, and he was really fascinated about like all the finger working that I've done. In the meantime, while he was checking out my hand and whatnot, he was like, go feel free to check out my entertainment system and play
so
whatever you
just
want.
Pop the hand off.
Oh
and
yeah,
look at it.
I popped it off. I let the extension cord and the grappling hook just kind of like swivel out and get to the end of it, and then I went over to the PlayStation and I started playing with my feet because it was pretty much the only thing I could really play with.
Oh, and he's got one of those specialty controllers, right?
Yeah,
Where
he
you
has
can
the
just
specialty
utilize that?
controllers that you can use for your feet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a tech guy.
Yeah,
so
totally.
He really messes around with stuff. I'm really good at using my feet.
Yeah. I've seen you make the chili with those. Your feet chili is actually well
thank you.
known. Yeah.
Actually, I've stopped using my hand altogether when I make the chili now.
I think people actually probably appreciate that. You're known for the feet chili, like everybody asks for it.
Yeah, it will be in my eventual cookbook.
Good.
Look
Good to
for
know.
it down the line.
Yeah.
But in any case, I booted up his PlayStation, and what he had on hand was the Mega Man X collection,
Mega Man X collection.
which has been recently released on everything right now.
Wow.
So, for those who don't know, the Mega Man X series is a spin-off of the classic Mega Man, where it's essentially you take normal Mega Man, same exact kind of structure of story and level design and whatnot, but Mega Man X is way more mobile than classic Mega Man. He's able to dash, and he's able to wall jump and do all
Nice.
these really fun things. The games have always been known about collecting heart tanks and progressively making yourself stronger and stronger as the level and story continue. But its structure is exactly the same. 8 Robot Masters, beat the Robot Masters, then instead of fighting Dr. Wily, you fight Sigma.
Ooh, Sigma.
Yeah, he's this big bald guy with yellow-purple streakies on his eyes.
Damn.
And he's like,
I will take over the Reploids, Mega Man X. I'm just gonna call you X for short.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense, Sigma. Sure.
But in any case, recently, all 8 of the Mega Man X games have been re-released and remastered on every current console. Something I found really goofy is that it's been split up into 2 separate games, all while being one collection. It's funny, too, because Drippy had the Mega Man X collection, like the PS4 box, and there are 2 discs in there.
Oh, wow.
So the first disc has the first 4 games, and then the second disc has the final 4 games.
Okay.
I didn't play the second disc because that one has all the bad games.
Oh, really?
The Mega Man X games have been known for... The first 4 games are known for being really, really fucking good games. Mega Man X was, like, revolutionary. Like, when you juxtaposed it to classic Mega Man, you were like, this is so much faster and better. Everything looks cooler.
Yeah.
Like, it has such a different vibe to it, but at the same time, it's still Mega Man. Then 2 and 3 continued that line.
Sure.
Then 4 came along, made everything look really fucking good, and also make a second playable character
That's
and you can do a
always fun.
whole campaign with.
Cool.
It also had really, really cringy, terrible animated cutscenes and voice acting.
Oh.
Mega Man, I love Mega Man X4. That's my favorite Mega Man game.
Yeah.
But holy shit, going back to seeing those cutscenes, they're still
Is it one of the,
terrible.
Is it one of those where like the volume is all off, like somebody's like shouting?
This
when
is
they're talking.
This
to
is
each
what I
other
love
in
about
close
the
quarters?
remaster. They fixed the audio mixing with a lot of the games.
Oh,
So the sound effects and the music have actually been well blended together.
nice.
But they didn't replace any of the voice acting. It's still the original voice actors, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like the two most famous like really bad voice acting scenes of Mega Man games. One's for Mega Man 8, and it's Dr. Light. Whatever reason, Dr. Light has a speech impediment, and he talks like Elmer Fudd.
Wow, this is gonna be very, very fun.
That's pretty close.
It's like these energy resources. I've never seen such energy resources before.
Sounds like Southern Rocky.
That's a good question.
He sounds like he's been drinking. Mega Man's like, what should we do, Dr. Light?
That's a good question. When we
but
find,
he's a doctor.
He's Dr.
Idiots.
Light. He's Dr. Light.
But he's a
Have you
fucking
never
doctor.
played a Mega Man game?
No,
before?
I haven't.
Dr. Light is Mega Man's creator. He's his dad.
Oh, he's his
He's his
pet
dad. He's his pet
Okay, sure. He's
and
Geppetto.
he's dead in the Mega Man X series because it's like years into the future.
Yeah.
But he appears in like holograms and he's like, X, I made you these robot body parts to become stronger. I should have installed them into you to begin with. But
So do they ditch the speech impediment when he's like,
there's no voice acting in the other game. There's only like voice acting in.
oh, it's just text?
It's just
like-
text in
okay.
the original games because the original games were on SNES. The X4 was on PlayStation and Mega Man 8 was on PlayStation.
Gotcha.
So that's how they had the animated cutscenes and the voice acting. But Dr. Dr. Light is just going,
if we find all the energy, we'll find Dr. Huawei.
the Dr. Huawei. But
Those are fun.
the really bad voice acting famous scene is from X4. Zero has to kill his girlfriend. And he gets really sad. But it's so beautiful. He's like, what am I fighting? What am I doing? This can't be happening, Iris. And it ends with him holding his girlfriend in his arms, and he goes, "What am I fighting for?"
Oh my god.
It's beautiful.
Is it? It sounds to me like that's one of those. It's like the Star Wars Episode 3 where Anakin is at the end. Padme dies and he's just. It's like everybody cringes together. Yeah.
You've killed her, Anakin. You sliced her. You sliced her throat, Anakin.
Now come with me so we can do something together.
Do it.
Dark side. Come check out my dark side.
Do it. I'm going to dox Padme and the Resistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in any case, replaying the first 4 Mega Man X games it's classic. It's so fun to play. I love the music and all of them. 4, I just love 4 because the ability to play Zero the entire game.
Oh yeah.
Because 3 makes Zero playable.
Who is Zero?
Zero is the Duratagonist of the Mega Man X series. He's number 2.
Oh, okay.
He is he's always been the coolest Mega Man character. He's the dude that in the red armor and he's got the lightsaber.
Sure. He's the Knuckles of Mega Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Zero has always been super fucking cool just in everything that he's done.
Yeah.
Except, what am I fighting for?
right. Everybody has moments like that, though. You can't be cool all the time.
Yeah, 3 made Zero playable, but you were really restricted. Zero couldn't level up. You couldn't give him heart tanks. He couldn't use any good abilities.
Okay.
His Buster sucked compared to Mega Man's, so he had no good shots. And also you couldn't take him into boss fights.
Oh,
you could do the whole level of Zero, but then as soon as a mini boss shows up, Zero goes away, X comes in, but Zero can only help out once a level. And if Zero dies, you lose him for the rest of the game. It's
for
fucking
the rest of the
for the rest
game?
of the game. You
Oh my
lose
God.
him. It's fucking lame. Whereas in 4, you right off at the beginning of the game, you want to play X or Zero. You play the whole game as either one of them, but
cool.
their gameplay is so different.
That's great.
It makes it so fun. So I can only really recommend the first half. I didn't touch the second half because the second half is really bad games.
Really?
X5 is okay.
Yeah.
But what made it okay was originally when it came out, one of the translators' husband was a huge Guns N' Roses fan.
Oh, boy.
All of the boss characters were named after Guns N' Roses members.
Oh, members. Oh, cool.
Members,
Axl.
they had, it was like Grizzly / Axl Rose.
Wow, okay.
Because there is an actual like Rose character.
Yikes.
But that was changed. It was retranslated to have like names matching more their Japanese names. Like that's fucking lame.
You might as well.
I know him as Whale McDuffin, not Tidal Whale.
Yeah, well,
lame.
After a certain point, you really like you don't want to just you have to leave it as it is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you can't tweak some things that become part of the game like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
But then the last 3 Mega Man X games are notoriously bad.
Yeah.
6 is like 6 seems like it's copy and pasted from 4 and 5. It looks exactly the same sprites and everything. But the level designs are fucking terrible. They're so bad. And then 7 is Donnie.
Bad game.
Oh, it is awful. I know I talked about the bad voice acting with the previous Mega Man games.
Yes.
Those are passable because those are like early 90s games. That's like a 96, 97 kind of game.
Sure. So forgivable, yeah.
Fucking Mega Man X7 came out in like early 2000s, like 2003, when we had like Metal Gear Solid and shit already out.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, boy, oh boy. Ooh, boy.
Well, to be fair, it's like there are still games with poor voice acting that come out like now. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
not as colossally
Most
bad,
of them are
I'm sure.
JRPGs.
yeah, exactly. But it's like those do happen. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it depends on the company, it depends on who they get to the voice acting, the budget, all that kind of shit.
It's pretty common, but not like I don't feel it's as common nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Definitely not like it was certainly in like the 90s or the early 2000s. And I just think that like people have more access to talent even for low cost. You know? It's definitely.
But one thing I really love about this collection, so you can choose any of the games you want. You can play them in Japanese if you want.
Fun.
So you can switch back and forth between the English version and the Japanese version.
Arigato!
Yeah, except, not as racist.
I just said thank you. That's racist.
But also there's a gallery mode and a challenge mode. Challenge mode is fucking great.
Nice.
What they do is at the beginning of challenge mode, you're given a boss rush and you're given a select weapons to choose to use in battle. Mm-hmm. When you go into battle, you fight against boss sprites from their separate games. So it's like playing like a mod.
Right.
So the battle begins like one of the first ones you get is you fight Chill Penguin, like one of the first bosses from the first game, and Frost Walrus, like one of the characters from X4. So you see the difference in detail of sprites,
Oh gosh, yeah.
and you have to fight them both at the same time.
cool.
And there's a bunch of bosses like that. They make the stages fit well for the two bosses that are in it, so it really complements both of them.
Nice.
So the Chill Penguin and Frost Walrus thing, like Chill Penguin can make little ice penguins, then he jumps up onto a hook and he causes a big breeze to happen, so these icicles start crashing into you. While Frost Walrus, most of his attacks are fucking sliding around on the ground.
Yeah.
And then shooting out big icicle beams and shit.
Damn.
It's really fun.
Sounds like a fun fight.
Like, that edition feels like it's a fan mod. It feels like something, like someone with a lot of love and care for the series.
Right, would've put
when
it together.
I want to fucking make this.
Yeah.
And that's what I fucking adore about this collection. It's split into two different packs. I say go for just 1 through 4.
That's what it sounds like. to me, yeah.
Skip 5 through 8 because I think like 5 is okay. I've heard good things about 8, but I've never played it.
Okay.
I might go back to Drippies to try it out.
Sure.
But 6 and 7 are bad.
So for right now, you're just recommending 1 through 4.
I recommend 1 through 4 because it's a great package.
Yeah.
It's 4 great games Technically 5 because 4 is 2 games.
Oh wow!
Because you play as X or Zero.
Yes, exactly.
And the whole game plays differently as either one of the characters.
Worth it. That sounds great.
There's a huge gallery. Like, you can look through all this promotional artwork from all the first 4 games. They even have photographs of like fucking action figures and toys and all this like released shit over the years of Mega Man X's like inception.
Nice.
There's a music player, so you can go through all of the games and listen to all of their soundtracks.
Sounds like an homage to Mega Man overall.
It's
like,
great.
Yeah.
I want them to do this with like every Mega Man game. I'm hoping for a Battle Network collection.
Oh yeah.
Like I talked about it before on the show. It's mega cheesy, but I have a lot of like fond memories of those games, and I'd love to have like one big solid pack with all of them on it.
Yeah.
Or at least the good ones, like 1 through 3.
Sure. Yeah.
They've done it for Mega Man Zero. Mega Man Zero is also another fantastic game series. I love Mega Man.
yeah. Clearly.
I've been a huge Mega Man fan for years. I
Yeah.
just don't get to talk about him that much.
And I mean, like, I know again, I know I'm coming at this as somebody who's never played the series or anything, but Mega Man is that's Nintendo, right? Like,
It's everything. It's Capcom.
oh, right, of course. So, like, but Mega Man's one of those series
It's
that has
like
been
the most
big.
iconic.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's been big and been around for so long. I mean, I think you can mention it like in the same breath as like a Zelda or like
Mario.
or Mario. There's that many games, like even like a Final Fantasy thing like that. How many iterations of these characters and this universe? So
Yep.
it's clearly successful. There's obviously
And there's so many different versions of Mega Man. Like, you have Classic, and then you have X, which are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Then you have Battle Network, Zero, fucking Star Force, and Legends, and there's so many different iterations and different styles of Mega Man out there.
So if somebody hadn't played them, what would you say is a good game to start with?
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic and X are the best ways to start. And honestly, if you want to get into X, I say get the first collection.
Okay.
Because you can buy them together for $40, or you can get them separately for $20 each.
Okay.
So $20, 5 games, all this music, and all these promotional images and this history.
And this is available everywhere,
It's
said?
on everything. It's on the Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. You can get it on anything.
There you go. Check it out. Mega Man series and X 1 through 4.
X1 through 4, or you can get 5 through 8. You can get them all together. If you like the later games, I recommend not getting the later games unless you have like history with them.
Right.
It's goofy too if you decide to get the whole pack. The Switch is the only version that will only give you 1 physical copy and then a digital code.
Okay.
Everything else gives you 2 discs.
Okay. So yeah, just depending on your preference then, but either way that sounds appealing. Sounds like there's a lot of good stuff to be found.
It's
in Mega Man.
good stuff. It's good Megger stuff.
Cool. The Meg.
The Megs.
Yeah.
Meggy.
Meggy.
Give him a kiss on the forehead. How you doing, Meggy?
Cool. Anyway, that sounds fun. I will. I'll tell you, Greg. I went back to Stony Island Feeder. I went back to his domain, and
Don't you mean his dome?
his dome. Yes, exactly. His is whereas our sphere is like underground, sort of like we dug out.
His is overground.
His is overground.
It's like a
got
big
flat
nipple.
floor. Yeah, it is. It's like one of those when you drive by and you see those like those giant things that contain salt, but they look like big stone boobs.
It's like that, but it's made with like street signs.
Yes,
and hay.
street signs, manhole covers, like all kinds of melted down metal. It's very cool, very Troll Market. Reminds me of some Hellboy stuff. It's interesting. So I went
the
back,
dude does look like Guillermo del Toro if he let his beard just like really grow
if
out.
he let his beard grow, and he wears just one monocle instead of 2 full glasses like Del Toro. But they're thick. The monocle is a thick lens, so it does like some crazy things with his eye. It's interesting.
It makes his eye just go crazy.
It really does. And in certain lights, it's like I don't even know what's resting in that cavity.
It's like, how many irises do you have?
Great question. But anyway, I went back to his place. He was serving goulash this past week, so I
fresh
ate
goulash.
Ate some of that. All I had to do was trim the hedges around the dome in exchange for it. Very easy to do. He has a giant pair of scissors, that people might use for like a ceremonial ribbon cutting kind of a thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like hedge trimmers, but it's much better.
Yeah, no, it's actual like big fake
Big gold scissors.
Yeah, and I was just trimming
Like Fievel Goes West.
Yes, exactly.
Big.
And I was just trimming hedges with those things, and you have to use like I had to use like my chest to get the thing like to use the pair of scissors. It's like a hard.
It was a workout just to open it.
It was a hot day. It was cool. So I had some, but I came back in. He had a nice big pitcher of lemonade and like iced tea and all that. But what he tells me is, I didn't realize this, but Stoney is he's a Trekkie. He's a huge Star Trek fan.
Oh man, something that you guys have in common.
Well, yeah, and I hadn't seen that yet. I hadn't seen any of Star Trek. I literally was like, I was a noob. I've had friends who, when I grew up, they obviously were Trekkies. They told me all about it. But Stoney, he comes in and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be watching this thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm sipping my my lemonade, and Stoney's like, "Would you?" He's Stoney's like, he's older and he's got like a Billy Connolly thing going. He's very Scottish, So he's like, I come in the dome and he's just, right, here's your lemonade, and I'm like, okay, like great, like thanks a lot.
Did he give you pink lemonade or was it normal lemonade?
It was normal. I was expecting it to be
Boo!
pink. I know, but it was normal.
Stoney.
I'll tell you what he did though. Since he had a pitcher of iced tea and lemonade, he was just mixing them for homemade Arnold Palmers. He was doing the half and half iced tea and lemonade, which turned out to be.
I heard he calls them
very
just
well.
Arnie's.
He does. He's Arnie's. Here's your Arnie. And I was like, okay. I was like, great. So he's very. And when he does that, it's in this dome, so it echoes. It
bounces.
It
It
reverberates
ricochets.
a lot. So it can be kind of hard to have a conversation with him in there sometimes. But luckily, we're talking.
It's like, have an Arnie.
Totally, it bounces all over the place. So I was like, thank you. Thank you, Stoney. So what? He's like, let me ask you, have you ever seen Star Trek? And I was like, I actually haven't. He's like, what? No Next Generation? No Patrick Stewart? It's the most amazing show ever! Sit down right here! And he pushed me down into his couch, and he's like,
And he handcuffed you to the chair. And
yeah. He was like, you sit down and you don't move.
he clawed your eyes open like a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Taped them open, and he's like, I'll drip water in them!
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna watch this if it's the last thing you do! And I was like, okay, great. So he spoon-fed me goulash, which was nice too. He spilled a lot of it down the front and everything. I think there's still some of it in the
You think that might be causing the great white light that's streaming from you?
Possibly. I would think it would more interfere with that, but I mean, I honestly don't. I guess I have to get it looked at. Really, maybe I'll go with you to Drippy's if he's into the tech stuff.
Drippy's big into the tech shit,
yeah, maybe he could help.
Sure, we can try out.
I'll check it out either way. But anyway, so I'm down there, and what Stoney put on, he put on one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and Star Trek. For anybody who hasn't watched it, and I'm not going to talk about anything right now except The Next Generation, because that's all I've seen, and that's the only iteration of Star Trek that I can speak to. But
not even the J.J. Abrams movies?
I haven't seen those. I don't know. Yeah, but
those are pretty much the only ones I've seen.
Yeah,
and I wish I didn't see most of them.
Right, yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard about those two. And again, Star Trek is a massive universe. I understand people's trepidation in even wanting to
trepidation.
I understand the trepidation too, but even wanting to approach that, it's like, where do you start? Do I watch Kirk?
Well, first you put on BO because most Trekkies are very stinky.
Put on deodorant. You don't put on BO.
No, you put on you put on BO so you can attract more Trekkies.
To detract women, though. You want Trekkies.
You detract women, and then you bring in.
Yes.
You bring in more dudes that dress as Klingons.
Yes, and I will say Stoney did have a bunch of anti-deodorants. He has a whole ton of the BO.
He had the Monsters Inc. Smelly garbage and wet dog
sprays, and he's like, try it out, and he just spray you with it. And it's like, Jesus, leave me alone, man. But anyway, so he put on. So, like I said, I won't talk about anything except The Next Generation, but The Next Generation was very popular. It aired in the 80s. I think it was from 86 to 94 or 87 to 94 maybe. And there's 176 episodes or something over 7 seasons. Patrick Stewart is the lead. He's Captain Jean-Luc Picard. He is the captain of this Federation starship whose mission is to explore space, the Federation is kind of like, imagine the United
And make
Nations.
love to aliens.
Totally. If you can, that's what you want to do.
Give a
for
big
sure.
smooch to a green tentacle.
Yeah, and there's different stuff that goes on like that or whatever. But so Patrick Stewart really sort of, he anchors this series of Next Generation. He does wonderfully. But so the first I'm watching, I hadn't seen any of these things, and I'm like, all right, Jesus, like Stoney, like put on your fucking episode. Who cares? I'm strapped to a chair and I'm getting spoon fed goulash. Like, what do I care about it?
He comes by with a teapot full of cold water to drip into your eyes so they don't go dry.
He did that. He did that at first. He took like 2 little eyedroppers, and he's like, here, and he like hit him. He like spurted him, and then he abandoned the pretense and he just dumped all the fucking like pitcher like right on top of me. He's like,
He got a Windex, but it's just filled with normal water and just
right. And so anyway, he puts on this one episode in season 2, and the episode's name is The Measure of a Man, and
it's usually in between 5'4" and
depending
5'9".
depending on the. I think it depends. There's some guys that are like 6'5". Like there's some.
There are irregularities.
Right. There's some anti-normies out there. Yeah, but so he
No offense to tall guys, but you're an abnormal. You're abnormal.
You're the exception.
Come down to our level
I
and
know.
we'll
What's your
talk.
problem? The world is made for us.
You
damn
think
it.
you're better because you can wear Air Jordans?
Right. Guess who's got space in the back of a Prius? This guy. That's who. So
Guess who could sit in the middle seat on an airline?
Yeah, economy
Me.
class, no problem with leg room, bro. I can just pull him right up to the chest and kick the back of your seat like a kid.
No need to hunch my neck down when I go through doorways.
No, exactly.
Nerds.
Yeah. So anyway, though, Stoney puts on The Measure of a Man, and I didn't know what to expect, but what this episode had to do with is there's a character in Next Generation called Data. Data's played by Brent Spiner. He's basically an android. He's a robot, but he looks human, and he's a computer, and his whole goal in life though is that he wants to be more human. He wants to understand what humanity's like. He's very Pinocchio, very Edward Scissorhands. It's like he's not human, but he wants to understand it like more than anything. And this particular episode, Measure of a Man, what the plot is that Starfleet, there's a person who wants to take Data apart. He wants to break apart the android, figure out how he works so that he can theoretically make more. Data's the only one like himself in Starfleet. The guy who created him only created him and one other, and then he died, supposedly. So like there's
Womp womp.
Yeah, there's no more
I made
androids.
these super androids that can feel
Right.
and understand emotion.
And then I pieced out.
And then I said, fuck this gay Earth, and I died.
No more, thank you. So he does that anyway. So Data's an anomaly, and he's very, very coveted. The Enterprise, which is the ship that Picard captains, that's the flagship of the Federation. It's like their number one ship that's going out. So they have the best of everything. And Data is one of the best pieces of equipment that Starfleet has to offer, so to speak.
He's the best toaster oven we've ever had on this ship.
And that right there, that point is kind of what the episode has to deal with. He's an android. He's treated as Starfleet property. So this scientist shows up on the ship and says, I want to break apart Data, figure out how he works, I'll put him back together, and then I can make more. Starfleet would love to have one Data for every starship, right? And Starfleet agrees. They're like, yes, that would be worth it. However, Data doesn't want to be broken apart by this guy. He tells him, he's like, I don't have the confidence that you can put me back together the way that I am right now. He's like, I don't think that you're capable or competent in order to do this. And that guy goes, well, like, too bad. Like, Starfleet says I can. So,
Too
and
bad.
your
I've got
property-
the equipment, and you're also a giant walking toaster.
Yes,
Fuck you.
Exactly. You're Starfleet property. I can do what I want with you. So what the episode then goes to is there's a trial. There's an arbiter, and Picard acts as Data's lawyer, and there's someone else who acts as the Starfleet lawyer. And what they're arguing is Data the android, is he property? Is he a toaster? Or is he a person? Is he sentient life?
I'll give you a quick answer. He's a robot, so he is a toaster.
Well, and that you say that now, but you watch this episode, you might feel differently. They have a trial and they debate.
All robots
what
are
is-
toasters to me.
They debate what sentience is, and Picard is like yelling to the other guy who wants to break apart Data, like, what makes up sentience? And the guy's like, well, intelligence, self-awareness, and one other thing. And Picard's like, well, like Data, he asks him about this, and he's like, that seems pretty self-aware. Data's like intelligent, and like the one other thing. So it's like, how do you know you're sentient, but he isn't? And that debate, the trial that they have over who's to say what constitutes as life, as sentient life, it's that kind of philosophical stuff is what makes Star Trek so great. I know it's known for technobabble and sci-fi stuff and space stuff.
Well,
but
philosophy was a big thing with Next Generation, I believe.
Yes.
Like I said, the only Star Trek, I know Star Trek because of pop culture.
Sure.
But I've never watched any of it.
Yeah, and I had never been that way either. So, and anyway, I should have said this before I dove into it. We watched that episode, and I was so into it. Maybe it was the Clockwork Orange thing. Maybe it was the goulash. Maybe I was just like,
maybe it was
place to be, whatever.
It was a bright light being constantly flashed in your eyes, like
Totally.
you love Star Trek.
You're not gonna stop watching now, boy. And it was just like, okay, so maybe it was that, but. Either way, when I was done with it, I was so into it that I texted Raj. I said, Raj, come over here to Stoney's. And Raj pops up. It's like when you text him, he comes up like a minute later. And he was like, yes, Don, what's going on? Are we going to party now? And he gets like real.
Bring your suit?
He was like, oh, you are tied up. I love this. Can I have some goulash, please? And it was just like, Stoney's like, who is this here? What's that fucking robe? And it was just, and then, obviously, fucking Raj is like, oh, Jesus, I'm not here to, who is this guy? Why is he talking like this? And it was like, it was a little weird at first, but I introduced the two of them. They ended up getting along just fine. And what I said was I wanted Raj to stop time, which he acquiesced to doing. And we all sat there and we watched all of The Next Generation, the entire series. We went back to the first episode, watched all 7 seasons. Stoney was nice enough to make some more goulash. He was a very gracious host.
I'm glad that we know this interdimensional magic man.
I know. Well, this is the first time I've ever actually texted him, because I got that burner phone recently, that we found, the other day. So now I've been able to be sending text and stuff, and he actually, he has a little device, he gets it. So this is the first time I've ever tried it, and he actually popped up right away. I don't know what he's, whatever he's doing, but he popped up and we watched all of it, and I just have to tell you, that vein of philosophical stuff, it totally continues. There are many classic episodes of The Next Generation that people are, that are sort of, I think, infamous and well known to the fan base. One of them is something, I think it's called Darnak. It's in season 5, and it's basically Picard goes to a planet where they have no method of communicating with Starfleet. Starfleet has universal translators, but they still can't understand this one culture. Nobody can. So they have no way of talking with them, but they want to engage a treaty. And so Picard...
So it's like Arrival. They're drawing on whiteboards, and they have birds inside the alien ship.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And they have to figure out, Picard and this other guy go on a planet, and they have to figure out a way to communicate with each other. And so this episode deals with, just communication. How if you were dropped onto an island and everybody was speaking a different language, and you had no common ground, no words in common, no inflection, no even grammatical structure. If you had no way of context or understanding what they were saying, how do you communicate and stuff? And it's really, there's 7 seasons of this show. There are a lot of gem episodes in them, and I just think if you're into philosophical debates, if you like things, if that episode I just mentioned with Data and the debate over what sentience is and where it starts, if that seems to appeal to you, Star Trek: The Next Generation, I think that you'll really, really like it. And everyone, it's a great ensemble cast, Jonathan Frakes as Riker, Brent Spiner, as I mentioned, Data, LeVar Burton as Geordi, Michael Dorn as
Who doesn't
Worf.
love LeVar Burton? He's
wonderful. Gates McFadden as the Dr. Crusher, Will Wheaton as...
Dr. Crusher?
Indeed.
What does she do?
She docks and crushes.
Oh, she doxes people?
She does.
I don't want her to dox us. I don't want people to find us.
She doesn't dox unless you give permission, and she does have 2... what are those? The wiener dogs. She's got 2 wiener dogs.
A dachshund?
Dachshund. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, Star Trek Next Generation. I highly, highly recommend it. I was blown away. I had no expectations from it. As I mentioned, Greg, I was like you. I'd never seen it. Now I've seen it all, and it's really worth it if you like philosophical shit like that.
Dang. All right. Well, we've got 2 recommendations right there. We've got some TGS.
Yes.
And Mega Man X Collection, Volume 1.
Both worth your time. Check them out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of worth our time, Donnie, are you ready to read some emails? It's Greg's List, baby.
That's right. Send your emails to gregslist@gmail.com. That's 3 G's at the front end. regslist@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can send us anything that you want.
Anything at all.
Questions, personnel, credit card information, home
Tidbits?
address.
Horoscopes. Any thoughts about our love lives?
I know what I am. I'm called a sagaritis.
Sagaritis.
Yeah, it's the horseman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got the horse top and the man bottom.
I could see that. I could see you as that, sure.
I could definitely be a horse.
You've got some powerful legs there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had no arms,
Yeah.
legs were
Got
doing
used to 'em.
everything.
Yeah, I bet.
Just did fucking everything.
Yeah, and now they're beefy and defined.
They're like giant drumsticks.
Totally. I won't lie. I've definitely thought about taking a bite out of them once or twice.
I wouldn't blame you. They're big and juicy. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of big and juicy, we've got a tasty email here.
Oh, okay. What do we got
Yeah,
there?
I was digging through our spam and I found a message that says radio audition reference, and I thought they were gonna write our email address because it starts with the 3 G's.
Yeah, right.
But it's Greek, so Greek.
Greek.
I'm not Greek.
This is spam that you found this in?
Well, I was reading this over. I thought we should go more into it on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems like it's might be a pretty tight deal. And,
Okay.
and we should double check with our listeners to see if it sounds like it's a tight deal.
Okay.
So it says, "Good day. I discovered some of your tracks online and found them interesting."
Is this a London guy? Is this email from London?
I think so, yeah. This email address was listed as your primary contact info, so I hope it's all right to contact you this
Yes,
way.
totally fine. Thank you very much.
I'm a talent agent at SRL Networks in London.
SRL Networks. Greg, this is our big break.
What is SRL?
SRL. Sri Lanka? Sri
Surreal Network. The Squirrel
The
Network.
Surreal Network.
The Surreal Network. Okay.
I would be a part of that.
One of the world's top music publicity networks geared towards helping independent musicians and labels find success in today's music industry.
Music and labels, that's our specialty here.
Man, I didn't realize that someone is actually looking at our musical chops. I know we
had no
always start
idea.
every episode with a beatbox.
I know, but I don't think that I never would have thought that would get on someone's radar who's looking for music stuff. I mean, come on.
Oh man, listen to this. So this guy says, our network consists of music fans,
Okay.
managers,
All right.
music venues,
Yikes.
publishers,
Hey.
record labels,
Okay.
and other music industry professionals.
Man, what a great resource.
And it's around the world, and it's our job to keep them all happy.
Yes, this is worldwide, our talent
With
agency.
new music and new talent all year round.
Just send us $43,000 and we'll get you set up.
I'm a Nigerian prince.
exactly.
We are looking for new artists to join our roster. Can we get DJ Dizzy Don and Greasy Greg up on the network?
Listen, if they want us to beatbox and freestyle like that, we can do that anytime. That's how
Oh
we, that's how
man,
we get warmed
check
up.
this out. You can find out more about us and how to audition at Skunk Radio Live. SRL!
Skunk Radio Live?
That's a fucking terrible network name.
You want to be a part of Skunk Radio?
I can see why they abbreviated it at
Dude.
first.
The Skunk.
We are the Skunk.
Our morning show stinks.
We are smelly.
We have sacks in our asses to deploy disgusting smelling fumes.
We host soup kitchens every weekend.
And by soup kitchen, we mean a hobo orgy.
That's right. Bring tomato juice because the stink will follow you home.
Skunk Radio Live.
Yeah, that is very unappealing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, but no thanks. I think we'll just continue doing what we're doing.
Boy, this is just some lame ass like fucking like blog spot.
Can you imagine?
Oh man, there's a whole article here about Chingy.
Chingy. Can you imagine handing someone a business card that said Skunk Radio Live? Like, oh,
Skunk Radio Live. Our management stinks.
Hey, you can hear me. Hey, you want to hear more? You can hear all my stuff right there.
Here, you want to hear more? Bend over.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, thanks for the spam, SRL.
Thanks, Steve.
Tell you what I'm going to end up doing.
Thanks for the kind regards, Steve, at the music department.
Kindest regards. Yes, Stephen, that's me.
I'm glad that he was listening to our music tracks.
Me too. Me too. I had no idea.
I didn't know that we were SoundCloud rappers on Podbean.
According to Skunk Radio Live,
Which, by
I
the
guess
way,
we are.
Podbean, on the other hand, is a lovely network that
Wonderful.
has been incredibly supportive of
Thank
us.
you, supporting. I'm going to pass that along to Gollum, though, because I know he's been trying to get an album
Excuse me?
out. Not currently. I'm just going to send him a text.
It's not the album part that bothers me. It's I've been keeping tabs on I don't want him to be my son-in-law.
Well, listen, they're going to get married no matter what. What are you going to do? You're going to keep on...
Kill them.
You're going to keep on trying to fight against that force, or are you going to lean into it?
Oh, I'm gonna murder them.
What's going to happen? Would you like to see them
First, I'm gonna
floundering in
tear
poverty after
Robot
they get married?
apart piece by piece, and then Gollum, I'm probably gonna eat him.
This is unhealthy. This is an unhealthy attitude to take. They're getting married. There's going to be a union. We got to help them out. This is a new couple.
You think I'm gonna help out with that?
All I'm doing is I'm texting Gollum the link to Skunk Radio Live. That's all I'm going to do. That's a place he can put his album.
Yes, and I think Stephen would be very happy to accept a new submission, yes.
Oh, yes, I'm looking for such good music from this disgusting goblin.
Skunk Radio Live. It would be perfect. Ugh. All right, I'm sorry. We had a second message you said, right?
Yeah, we did. We got a second message
Not
here.
spam? This is not spam.
No, this actually popped up in our normal feed. So this one is from Matt and Justine.
Matt and Justine.
Yeah,
Hi, guys.
welcome to the show, guys. It says so let me read this here. Hi, Don and Greg.
Hello.
We are Matt and Justine, and we are huge fans of the show.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
We listen every week and found out you're taking emails. Yeah, anyone can send us emails.
So we are.
This is great news.
It's not
We
bad.
have a proposition to make.
Proposition.
We own a small pontoon boat on Cedar Lake in Carbondale,
Hey!
and we wanted to take you both on for a ride.
Whoa! Take us on for a ride?
Oh, and they got a little smiley face.
Oh, that's so nice.
But it's like the smiley face with like the sideways V.
Oh.
So it's like a cute smile.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice... It's a smirk. It's like a smirk,
No,
isn't it?
no, it's not. It's not like. It's like cute smile where you're like,
like
you've
flirty?
got a tiny mouth, so you can only make a smile like.
Right.
So let me see here. My wife and I are celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Hey,
Aw,
congratulations, Matt and
Congrats.
Justine. What is that? Is that the 10 anniversary? What's the
I thought it was the carbon.
carbon?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay, well, either
So you
way.
can get any kind of carbon,
Carbon
normal
life
or
form.
altered.
carbon-based life form.
Yeah.
Altered carbon. That's good.
Let me see here. Celebrating our 15th anniversary, and we wanted to broaden our horizons and try something new.
Sounds like a good idea.
When we first heard your voices, we knew we had to have you over. They put a bunch of dots after you.
The ellipses.
Oh, but they got another smiley face. It's
Okay.
It's like the one with the two, like your eyes are closed and you're like,
Oh, okay, yeah, like a really pleased smile.
yeah, like the cute kind. Like not as cute as the V1. I like the V1 a lot. That one's really cute.
Have you over? Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah,
I mean, that sounds nice.
have us over. It must have been like a small typo.
Sure, like a little pause, I guess.
Yeah, extra periods.
Beats,
It's fine.
sure.
Yeah. So let us know if you're interested and feel free to swing on down at any time.
Okay.
My wife and I are wide open.
Oh, man.
Yours soon, Matt and Justine.
Hey,
Aw.
thanks, guys. That's
Thanks,
a really
guys.
nice
You know what?
invite.
I think we should take them up on that offer.
I would love.
It sounds like they want to celebrate.
Yeah, it's
and they have a
15
pontoon. They have a pontoon boat.
on Cedar Lake. Carbondale's beautiful. I would happily go down there. That sounds fun.
I kind of want to broaden my horizons too, because I still don't know a whole lot outside of Chicago.
Not a bad idea. I think it's good for anybody.
Oh! There's a little bit more.
Postscript.
P.S. Greg, make sure your hand is fully operational. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. You know, that's really sweet of them to look out for me. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, I can't swim.
Yeah. No, you can't.
It's really hard to do it. The hand is very heavy.
Yep.
That's really sweet. You know what?
Love them. That's
Matt,
really nice.
Matt, Justine, let's trade info.
That sounds
let's
great.
swap some deets.
Send us your contact info and that email address again. And
Yeah, feel free to send us pictures too, just so we can like recognize you.
Yeah, when we see you. And
Then I guess we'll, as they say, swing on down.
I like that. And maybe they're planning on using your robot hand, like they're gonna stick it in the water to power the.
Oh, I could be like a little propeller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's
Just
what-
make sure to bring lots of food.
Maybe that's about. Oh yeah. 15th anniversary. That's really exciting, and I'd be happy to be a part of that. That sounds like a great.
You know what would be
time.
really good? Some turtle. Turtle is really, really good. Some turtle's head?
Turtles.
Yeah, like turtle soup.
I don't think I've actually eaten that.
Well, you know what, Matt, Justine? It sounds like you might be turtle fans. So I say you cook up some turtle.
Bring it on down.
Maybe
I would
maybe
try
like
it.
like a seafood buffet.
That would be cool. I would really be into that.
It could have that like burger thing, like umami.
Umami.
Yeah, umami. You know, the eel thing.
Ooh, mommy. I'll take that burger. Is that what that's about?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Make sure not to
has
scream
to-
that in front of Justine. I mean, she's our elder, but
Ooh, mommy. What if they have kids?
I mean, they've been together for 15 years, so maybe
It's very possible.
maybe the kids want to swing along too.
Maybe they do. Why not? Maybe one of those kids will say that on the trip. Maybe they'll be like, ooh, mommy. Weird. That'd be so strange. 15th anniversary, that was really cool.
That's really, really cool. You know what? Yeah, let's
for
do
you
this.
guys.
We're making
out
a
of this-
boxcar promise.
Yeah, I could get
and
out of the
once
city for a
and
bit.
once two hobos make a boxcar promise, we have to fulfill it.
We do. We always try to do that.
It's like a contractual obligation, but like spoken word.
Yeah, because that's all we've got. I mean, we're homeless. Word is our bond, man. Like, that's what we go by.
Yep.
But anyway, thanks so much for the submission, Matt and Justine. Congrats again. We'll touch base on that.
And also, thanks for Skunk Radio Live.
Skunk Radio Live.
I'll think about that.
Best of luck with your future endeavors. Skunk Radio Live.
Right here in London.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hope those waves go
The most
worldwide.
pungent radio station you'll find across the sea.
Quiet. Don't listen after second tea, though. You won't find it too amusing.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much again for listening. Again, we recommend Mega Man
Mega Man X Collection Volume 1.
and Star Trek The Next Generation. Don't know much about the other stuff, but The Next Generation, 7 seasons of that, pretty great stuff. Definitely worth your time.
Yeah. All right.
And,
Well, yeah, let's start getting packed up here, dude. You know what? Maybe we should stop by Drippy. I don't want your light hitting Matt or Justine in the face. I don't want you blinding them.
That's a good idea.
Ah, Jesus Christ! Ow!
Sorry.
Oh, Jesus!
That's how it's been for me. Bottom of my vision. And wait, the sun's
It's
still
like
out.
staring into a microwave. It's so bright.
You think it's bad now. When the sun goes down, this is going to be, beaming. It beams in the night.
You're like a
It's
goddamn bat signal, but, in the air appears your fucking spine.
Dude, I wonder if Drippy could draw like a bat signal on the thing, because that would make this a little bit more fun.
I mean, he's got soldering equipment and shit. I'm sure he could easily do it.
Maybe we could do maybe not a bat signal. Maybe we could do like our own signal. Like a boxcar buddies.
Like a BC.
Yeah, like or BX. You know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing.
Just a big X.
Yeah. And just,
Maybe triple X.
Yeah, I like that.
Make it State of the Union.
If they could write the State of the Union address on my thing, I could beam the text of it, into the sky.
Just so you know, all American heroes, the Boxcar Buddies, are on their way.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
It'd be
but-
like scrolling text like Star
But
Wars.
if you already have it built into you, then we would know, like,
they know where I'm at.
they know where you're at. Yeah.
It's
So
not
then
like the
that kind of
commission-
it kind of
yeah.
defeats the purpose.
Right.
Because Batman, it's like, oh no, the bat signal's up, so Batman's just going to appear
You
wherever.
have to call him. Yeah, you have to call him to it.
Whereas,
With me,
like, with you, as soon as the light's out, it's like, it's dawn! And then
know.
they grab crowbars and they beat the
I
shit
know.
out of us.
And I was also envisioning, like, if I had the light on and I was, like, kind of running or moving, like, the light would be, like, bouncing around in the sky. Like, the text would be, like, jumping up and down.
You also have to make
Nobody
sure
would be
that your
able to
chest
read
is
it.
at a certain angle so it
I
hits the
know.
sky.
Yeah, because if I was running, it'd be, like, beaming right to the ground.
Yeah, it would be beaming right in front of you, and,
Yeah.
and that would cause some damage.
Could find some fun stuff at night, though. There's no telling, like, what, if we're walking
I
along,
mean,
like,
you're a
forest
human's
preserve.
flashlight right now.
I know. Yeah, it's yeah. We'll figure out a way to use this, definitely. So we'll.
Yeah, let's find some
hit
kind of
this.
cover on there before you boil my
Sorry,
eyes.
Sorry. Here we go. There we are now. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's getting brighter.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Ooh,
I know. If
I think it's burnt. It's starting to burn your shirt a little bit.
Ouch. Oh, it hurts.
Oh my god.
Oh, it
The
hurts.
light. Oh, Jesus.
The tarp is starting to smoke.
Oh, no.
my god.
The hole's too deep.
Get
I
out of
can't
here.
reach it.
It's collapsing. I'm climbing up, but the sides are collapsing now.
Oh, everything's on fire.
Shit! This hurts! Oh, the smoke! Okay, here, I'm gonna just stand on my shoulders! Stand on my shoulders and try and get out!
Okay. Ah! Oh, fresh air.
Greg, help me up there!
Grab my hand.
Help me up there!
Grab my hand. Ah, your light!
Ow! It burns! Ow, you dropped me!
Oh, my eyes.
Oh, Greg, help!
Oh, no. Oh, my eyelids are bubbling.